Hello, children. Chapter 6, Physical and Chemical Changes. In this lesson, we will learn physical change, chemical change, rusting of iron, galvanization, crystallization. You must have seen a number of changes taking place around you all the time. In the sixth standard, we have learnt a lesson, changes around us. In that lesson, we have learned the different kinds of changes. Let us revise some of the uh, changes that occurs around our surroundings. Okay. First one, desirable and undesirable changes. Some changes are useful, that is desirable changes. Milk changing into curd, a seed germinating or forming a new plant. These are the examples of desirable changes. Desirable changes with the changes that are useful. And undesirable changes are those that are not beneficial. Such changes could even be harmful to us. Ripening of a fruit is a desirable change, but a fruit rotting is an undesirable change. Next, a change can be fast and slow. A change which occurs in a short period of time is known as fast change. Burning of paper is a fast change. Now, some changes require a long time to take place. Such changes are known as slow changes. Example, the aging of the human body and a mango seedling growing into a tree are slow changes. Now, let us see reversible changes. Reversible changes can be reversed. That means, for example, melting butter. By heating, we can melt butter, and by cooling, we can change the liquid form of butter into the solid form. So, changes that can be reversed are called reversible changes. Here, one more example given here. By heating, we can change ice into liquid form, and by cooling, again liquid form to the solid form. Okay. So, boiling, evaporating and condensing are all examples of reversible changes. For example, if you could capture all the steam that is made when a kettle boils, you could turn it back to water by cooling it. Dissolving. Dissolving is an example of a reversible change. For example, when salt is mixed with water, it appears because it dissolves in the water to make salty water. But we can get the salt can back again by boiling of the water. That leaves the salt behind. So, reversible change is change that can be reversed are called reversible changes. Next is irreversible changes. Changes that cannot be reversed are called irreversible changes. See the example given here. Rust, iron rust, rusting of iron. We cannot change the rusted iron piece to its original form. Now look at here, dough into bread. Okay, we cannot change the baked bread to dough again. So changes that cannot be reversed are called irreversible changes. In this year, we have to learn physical and chemical changes in detail. All the changes which take place in our surroundings can be classified into two kinds, that is physical changes and chemical changes. Let us have a look at some of the changes taking place around us with the help of some simple activities. First activity given here is cut the piece of paper in 4 square pieces. In any shape you can cut it. Can we bring this cut piece into its original form? No, it already cut. The papers are already cut off, but we cannot bring this paper into its original form. But the feature or properties of the paper does not change. Okay, only physical property of the paper is changed. So what are physical property? Physical property of a substance or materials are its size, shape and its appearance. Okay, so this paper size or shapes are changed when we cut the paper, but its properties of the paper does not change. Now second example given here is chalk. Collect chalk dust laying on the floor near the we have to collect one chalk and we have to crush a small piece of chalk into a dust. Add a little water to dust to make a paste and with the help of water make a ball of this chalk. What we observed? We observed the change of shape of the chalk. First we crush the chalk, it becomes powder. After adding water, we make it a ball shape. But all these three shapes, are different. Okay, so its physical property changes, but the property of the chalk, that is chemical property, is not changed. Now third activity, what is it? Take some ice in a glass or plastic tumbler. Melt a small portion of ice by placing the tumbler in the sun. You have now a mixture of ice and water. Now place the tumbler in the freezing mixture, ice plus common salt. Does the water become solid ice once again? Yes. Okay. While heating and cooling, we can change the physical properties of the material. These are the activities given in your test book. So in these activities, we understood that only the physical property of this given substance is changing, but chemical properties are not changing. Such changes are called physical change. So let's see what is physical change. Properties such as shape, size, color and state of a substance are called physical properties. What are physical properties of a substance? Properties such as shape, size, color and state of the substance are called physical properties. Now what is physical change? A change in which a substance undergoes a change in its physical properties. That is, what is physical property here? Shape, size, color and state of the substances. State means in which state, either liquid, uh, solid or gaseous state. Okay, that is state of a substance are called physical properties, is called a physical change. A change in which a substance undergoes a change in its physical properties is called a physical change. A physical change is generally reversible. We already know what is reversible. A change that can be reversed are called reversible change. So, a physical change is generally reversible. In such a change, no new substances is formed. No new substances is formed during physical change. Some of the examples are given here. Crushing a can. See, its physical property has changed, but how? It cannot be reversed. It can be reversed using some energy, okay? But uh, melting an ice cube, boiling water, mixing sand with water, breaking glass, dissolving sugar in water, shredding paper, chopping wood, mixing green and red marbles, sublimation of dry ice. These are the physical examples of physical changes. Some more examples are rain to sleet, wood to sawdust, paper to shredded paper, wax to melted wax, potato to grated potato, gemstone to carved gemstone, copper to hammered copper. All these are the examples of physical changes. Now about chemical change. When two or more substances react in such a way that there is formation of one or more new substances, the change is called a chemical change. Here, what is happening? In chemical change, new substances are formed, but in physical change, no new substances are formed. Now, what are the characteristics of a chemical change? New substances with different properties are formed. Chemical change is irreversible. A large amount of heat is either evolved or absorbed during a chemical change. Large amount of heat is evolved. Heat is produced or absorbed during a chemical change. We will discuss more experiment in upcoming chemical experiments for chemical change in the coming slides. Some of the common examples given here are burning of incense stick. After burning, what will happen? After burning, stick becomes ash. Now rusting of iron. We will learn about rusting of iron in detail in the other slide. burning of coal, spoilage of food, that we know in our house it is happening now. Now, digestion of food, burning of dry leaves, explosion of fireworks. These are the common examples. So let us start an experiment, that is, this is magnesium ribbon. In this picture, this is magnesium ribbon. The magnesium take a magnesium ribbon, clean it by rubbing with sandpaper. Okay, we have to before doing the experiment, we have to clean this magnesium ribbon with rubbing with tip of the magnesium ribbon with sandpaper. Do you know what is magnesium? Magnesium is used in products that benefits from being lightweight, such as car seats, luggage, laptops, cameras, and power tools. Okay, as magnesium ignites easily in air and burns with a bright light, it is used in fireworks and sparklers. So, as magnesium is ignites easily in air and burns with a bright light, it is used in fireworks and sparklers. Okay, this is the magnesium ribbon. We are doing this experiment with magnesium ribbon. So, before doing the experiment, we have to clean magnesium ribbon by rubbing with sandpaper. Why we are doing this? Because magnesium ribbon is cleaned before burning to remove the layer of magnesium oxide, dirt, etc. To removing the layer of magnesium oxide, dirt, etc., we have to clean the tip of the surface with sandpaper. From its surface, it forms when magnesium ribbon remain exposed to moisture. Such layer obstruct burning of magnesium. क्योंकि if magnesium ribbon has dirt on it, it obstruct burning of magnesium. That is why we are cleaning magnesium ribbon with sandpaper. Okay. Now, on burning in air, now again come to the first point, that is, take a magnesium ribbon, clean it by rubbing with sandpaper, then hold it with a pair of tongs, burn it in the flame of a burner, collect the ash so formed in a watch glass. So, on burning in air, magnesium ribbon gives dazzling white flame and changes into a white powder, that is magnesium oxide, as a result of reaction between magnesium and oxygen present in air. In short, this magnesium react with oxygen, gives magnesium oxide. Okay, and it burns with dazzling white flame. You can see a dazzling white flame. Dazzling means bright white flame. Okay. So magnesium reacts with oxygen in the air. Oxygen gives magnesium oxide. That is the new substance is formed. Okay. We used here magnesium ribbon and we burn it. After burning, a new substance is formed, that is magnesium oxide. See the chemical equation here. Magnesium plus oxygen gives magnesium oxide. This is the chemical equation of this reaction. Now next is reaction between copper sulfate solution and iron. Take 100 ml water in a beaker. Dissolve 1 teaspoon of copper sulfate in it. Okay. Do you know what is copper sulfate? Copper sulfate is used as a fungicide, algicide, root killer and herbicide in both agriculture and non-agricultural settings. It is also used as an antimicrobial and uses. Okay. So take 100 ml of water in a beaker. Dissolve 1 teaspoon of copper sulfate in it. Add a few drops of dilute sulfuric acid to it. You will get a blue colored solution. You can see in this picture. Divide the solution into 2 beakers. To one beaker, drop an iron nail. In this iron nail or any iron pieces, iron nail or iron blade, anything. Okay. Wait for half an hour. Compare the color of the solution in the 2 beakers. Do you see any change in the color of the 2 beakers? Yes, you will notice that the color of the solution changes from blue to green due to the formation of iron sulfate. Okay, a new substance. This is a new substance formed here. A brown colored layer is also seen on the iron nail or iron blade here. So here reaction is copper sulfate plus iron gives copper sulfate solution reacts with iron gives iron sulfate plus copper. Okay, here copper sulfate reacts with iron gives iron sulfate and copper. Copper brown powdery substances we seen here is copper. So the reaction chemical equation of this reaction is copper sulfate solution that is blue in color. This and iron reacts with iron, gives iron sulfate solution, that is green in color, and copper. Copper we can see in brown deposit. So in this is a chemical change. So in this experiment, new substances are formed. Which are the new substances formed here? Iron sulfate solution and copper. In this experiment, color also changed from blue to green. A third experiment, that is take about 5 ml of vinegar in a test tube. Add a pinch of baking soda to it. In this experiment, we can hear a hissing sound and we'll see bubbles of gas coming out of the flask or test tube. Vinegar, that is, we know vinegar is acetic acid, reacts with baking soda. Baking soda is sodium hydrogen carbonate. Vinegar reacts with baking soda, gives carbon dioxide and other substances. The hissing sound and the bubbles are formed here. That is because of the carbon dioxide gas. Okay. Now, this carbon dioxide gas is passed through freshly prepared lime water. You can observe that the lime water turns milky. If we pass this carbon dioxide gas to another test tube filled with lime water, another new substances is formed, that is calcium carbonate and water is formed. So there are two reactions here. First one is vinegar reacts with baking soda, gives carbon dioxide and other substances. In this experiment, we can observe hissing sound and bubbles of gas coming out of the test tube. That this is because of carbon dioxide gas, formation of carbon dioxide gas. We are transferring this carbon dioxide gas to the another test tube. That test tube is filled with lime water. What is lime water? Lime water is what is lime water? You have learned in the acid bases. Lime water is liquid lime. Calcium hydroxide. Lime water is calcium hydroxide. Okay. So this carbon dioxide react with calcium hydroxide, gives calcium carbonate and water, and this turns to milky. This lime water turns to milky. The appearance is changed. So which are the changes we observed here, chemical changes in this reaction. In the first reaction we observed hissing sound and bubbles of gas, and the second experiment, that is carbon dioxide reacts with lime water. Lime water is calcium hydroxide, gives calcium carbonate and water. Here lime water turns milky. These are the changes that we notice in this experiment. So this is a chemical change. So in this three experiment, what we have observed in the first experiment, that is magnesium magnesium reacts with oxygen, gives magnesium oxide. In that experiment we observed it burns with a bright white light. That is a different different change. Okay, it burns with a bright white light, leaving behind a powdery ash. We get new substances, that is powdery ash, and it burns with a bright white light. That are the changes we notice in that magnesium ribbon experiment. Okay, then and the second experiment, that is copper sulfate reacts with iron, gives iron sulfate and copper. In that experiment we have noticed the color change and the different substances are formed. And this third experiment, that is vinegar reacts with baking soda, gives carbon dioxide. In that we have noticed hissing sound and bubbles of gas are formed. And the carbon dioxide reacts with lime water, gives calcium carbonate and water. In that the lime water turns to milky. These are the observation that we notice in these three experiments. That is sound changes, sound is produced, light is produced, then gas is produced, color change. These are the observation that we notice in the chemical change. Now rusting of iron. You must have seen that an iron object is left outside in the rain. A reddish brown layer is deposited on its surface. This is due to the presence of rust, which forms naturally due to a chemical reaction. The process of formation of rust is called rusting. In here, iron reacts with oxygen and water, gives rust. Okay, mostly our windows are made of metals, right? You must have seen some windows have become rusted. That is, these windows exposed to air. When humidity in the atmosphere is more, these metals reacts with oxygen and water, gives rust. The layer of rust falls off slowly and fresh metal surface is exposed to further rusting. This is gradually weakens the iron objects. See here, this part is exposed to air because already this wall is painted, but this part is paint has this paint got damaged. As a result, this metal is exposed to the air and it reacts with oxygen and water to give rust. Damage due to rusting causes heavy losses as iron is used to make bridges, ships, cars, trucks, and many other articles. Therefore, rusting needs to be prevented. There are some of the methods are given here. We can prevent rusting by preventing iron articles from coming in contact with air or water or both. Some commonly used methods of prevention of rusting are applying a coat of grease or paint. They, however, need to be applied regularly. By galvanization, it is the process of depositing a layer of zinc on an iron object. Here, see galvanized pipe and black pipe. Zinc forms a layer of zinc oxide on reaction with air and thus form a barrier between iron and the atmosphere. Galvanized iron sheets are used for roofing. The iron water pipes we use in our homes to carry water are also galvanized. Galvanization means to depositing a layer of zinc on an iron object. Now third one is by alloying. Certain metals can be made rust free when mixed with corrosion resistant metals. There are some corrosion resistant metals. So these metals which are undergoing rusting will mix with this corrosion resistant metals and a new metal is developed. Okay, stainless steel is an alloy of iron, nickel and chromium and does not rust. Stainless steel is an alloy of iron, nickel and chromium. These are the three ways to prevent rusting. One is painting. Next one is galvanization. That is the depositing a layer of zinc on the iron object. That is galvanization. This is galvanized pipe. Galvanized pipe. The iron water pipes we use in our home to carry water are galvanized. Next is alloying. Alloying, what is alloying? Certain metals can be made rust free. How? These metals are mixed with corrosion resistant metals. These metals are some of the metals are mixed with corrosion resistant metals. So example is stainless steel. It is an alloy of iron. It is mixed with iron, nickel and chromium. Next is crystallization. Crystallization is a process by which pure crystals of a substance are obtained from an impure substances. It is a process by which pure crystals of a substances are obtained. We get pure crystals from the impure substances. That is crystallization. There is an experiment here. That is, take a beaker. How we get crystals? Take a beaker, fill it with water, add 2-3 drops of dilute sulfuric acid to it. Heat it over a burner. When the water starts boiling, add copper sulfate powder to it. Stir continuously. Keep adding a little copper sulfate powder till no more of it dissolves. That is till saturation point. Filter the solution. Let it cool overnight. Do not disturb the solution. We can see blue crystals of copper sulfate at the bottom of the beaker. This is the copper sulfate crystal. Copper sulfate crystal is accumulated here. So crystallization is a separation technique that is used to separate a solid that has dissolved in a liquid and make a solution. Next, so let's see the difference between physical and chemical changes. Physical changes only affect physical properties. What are the physical properties? Size, shape, then appearance, all this. Size, shape, appearance and all. Now, chemical changes will affect both physical and chemical properties. Physical changes produce no energy. Chemical changes produce energy generally in the form of heat, light or sound. Physical changes produce no new substances. Chemical changes produce new substances. Physical changes are generally easy to reverse. Chemical changes are not easy to reversible. These are the differences between chemical and physical changes. That's about this lesson. Thank you.